Hello everyone, welcome back to My Category Journey. We are on book number 4. Book 4 came to us via recommendation of Lucy Monroe, the Lucy Monroe, yes. And she will be featured here on My Category Journey sometime here soon. Yeah, it's coming soon. I don't know exactly when, but it'll be here soon. But book number 4 is The Sergeant's Matchmaking Dog by Carrie Nichols, who was featured on the Categorically Romance podcast recently, so go ahead and check out her episode. It's an absolute blast. Now, to get into the book, chapter 1, we have Gabe, who is an ex-Marine. He's back in his hometown of Loon Lake, but he had a bit of a reputation of being a bad boy, and he grew up on the wrong side of the tracks as he sees it, and so he's a little worried about how the town is going to receive him moving back. Well, he and his dog, Radar, who he brought back from Afghanistan, and he wasn't any kind of like military dog, he was just a dog, and he became a pet, and Gabe brought him home. They're walking along, minding their own business. A school bus pulls up, and this little boy, adorable little boy, comes up and just runs right up to Radar, gives him a hug, gives him loves. Radar's loving it just as much. Then comes our heroine, Addie, who it appears that she's Teddy's parent, but we do find out later that she's actually a sister, but guardian. Anyway, there are some rough words exchanged between Gabe and Addie about how you approach dogs, how you approach strangers. Legitimate things, but she was a bit harsh about it. So that's chapter 1. So now we're going to have to figure out if Gabe can actually stay away from Addie for, the rest of forever, like he's planning to do at the end of this chapter, or if there's going to be a wrench thrown in this thing. Finish chapter 2, and oh boy, let me tell you. So not only is Gabe going to have to see these folks again, Addie and Teddy, they're not only neighbors, they're neighbors that share a duplex. So it's gotten juicy. Well, everyone was thoroughly embarrassed and awkward about the situation. So Addie decides she's going to go apologize, and she had just made some cupcakes, and she takes some over to apologize for her behavior, just assuming he was this awful predator. Well, then Gabe doesn't behave so well. So now we don't know where we go from here. We might go back and forth between them being standoffish to each other. We've got a nosy neighbor across the street keeping an eye on everything. This is a recipe that is going to be tasty, let me tell you. So I will check in after chapter 3. So chapter 3, avoiding Addie, was not as easy as Gabe had thought it was going to be. So now we have the forced interactions. He did agree to be the maintenance man. So I need to meet this Natalie person. I have a feeling that she is in a previous book. So, again, trying not to get distracted. This is the same thing coming in late in a series. So I'm getting over obsessed with side characters. Anyway, this is going to be good. The way chapter 3 ended, it was on a perfect note, and I'm totally getting the vibe of this book and where it's fallen in the romance genre, and it's perfect. This is what I needed without knowing that I needed it, and it's so great when you pick up a book and it's like that, and it's like I didn't ask for it, but it was exactly what I needed, and it's just perfect. All right, I will check in after chapter 4. So chapter 4, we had our hero and heroine actually have to spend some time around each other. We had some fun moments there. Definitely a nice, something you wouldn't find in a heartwarming, I'll say that. This chapter forced the characters, our hero and heroine, together, and they had to be nice to each other. It was super cute. Teddy, the little brother, and Radar, the dog, are just becoming fast best friends. Like, they're inseparable now. Like, Radar belongs to Teddy now. He just lives with Gabe. We get a deeper look into everyone, which is nice. It's a perfect timing, too. So everything's starting to get fleshed out. So I will check in after chapter 5 when maybe we'll have some more juiciness coming up. We'll see how juicy Special Edition gets. I've just finished chapter 8. I think I skipped a few chapters. So I didn't vlog through. It must have been chapter 7 or 6. I'm not sure. We'll check the footage. Chapter 8. All right, so Addie and Gabe by chance meet on Brody's farm. Brody is from a previous book, I am guessing. And they both don't really have anything to do, so why not go out for pancakes, right? But it's not a date, right? Of course. Both of them in their own heads are making sure to tell themselves it's not a date. It's not a date. We all know better, and everyone else knows better too. All right, so I finished reading chapter 8. I skipped quite a few chapters in there because I was just so engrossed in the story, and it was just developing really in the early chapters. Not saying that it wasn't fun, obviously, I just kept reading. So we got to a point where Addie and Gabe found themselves on Brody's farm. Brody, I assume, is in a previous book. I'll have to check him out. And they have nothing left to do, so they decide, well, might as well go for pancakes at this pancake place that Gabe hasn't been to since he's been back in town. Well, it's not a date, though. Of course, they gotta establish it's not a date, but we all know it's really a date. The waitress knows, and all the other patrons in the establishment know it's a date as well. It starts out so stinking cute, and I actually wrote a tweet out about how adorable it was, but then I turned the page and it gets super serious and heavy, and so it was a good balance, though. It was a nice balance of having that super sweetness, just getting the connection, and then also just covering heavier topics, trusting each other with some of the deeper things in their lives. So great progress for these two, and just for Loon Lake in general. We get to know the surroundings a bit better, and I will check in after chapter 9, or wherever I find myself checking in. I just finished chapter 9, The Sergeant's Matchmaking Dog, and it's picking up pace. It's picking up pace really fast, and things are progressing. Non-dates happened, and then just life happens, just forcing the two of them together. Well, I should say the four of them together, because there are 4 people involved in this arrangement here. So this is getting really good, and it's already been so hard so far to stop and make commentary, make a vlog post, make a tweet, all that stuff. So especially in the mornings too, because that's when I have most of my reading time. Lane and I get up about 4:45, and we have some time to ourselves before the kids get up. It's a good opportunity for me to read at that time, but it's not a good time to vlog post. So unless I I guess I could go out into the garage and do a vlog post there. I guess leave a comment if you wouldn't mind garage vlog posts. All right, just 6 chapters left in The Sergeant's Matchmaking Dog, plus an epilogue, and I will check in later. I just finished chapter 10, and I tell you what, the hooks are sunk in everyone. It's tangled webs of hooks and chains, and they're all together, and they just need to deal with it now. Teddy's coming to Gabe for advice about things at school and stuff like that, and Addie's baking stuff. Oh, she's baking stuff for Radar, but still, she's baking, for them, and it's just, they're all living in the same house. It might be a duplex, but it's the same house. So it's just settled. Everyone just needs to come together and put a bow on this thing. We will see. We've got 5 chapters left, so I will check in. I don't know where, but I'm at the point where I'm going to have to be very vague, and I will check in as much as I can, because I know how I get in these last few chapters, and I really just want to push through to the end. So I finished chapter 12. Gabe is going to take Addie on an actual date. An overnight date. Ooh. And let me just say, chapter 12 ended quite nicely. Quite nicely indeed. I enjoyed that for comedy more than steaminess. So just a little nugget I'll leave there, but I'll leave it at that. So now everything should be good. They know they like each other, they touch bits, it's all set now. So I imagine we can just call it there. I don't know what happened there. If it hasn't been obvious, I'm refilming a lot of this vlog because a lot of the footage ended up corrupted for I don't know what reason. I ended up with audio, no video, things like that. Anyway, it is conflict time, and I am scared because for the amount of comedy in this book, the drama has been right there with it. So it's going to be heavy. I don't know if I'm prepared. I don't know if they're going to survive it, but we will soldier on, and I'll check in later. If there are Oreos in my teeth, I do apologize. I keep realizing that by the end of a chapter, I'm like, oh, I'll go film a vlog now. Oh, wait, I've been eating Oreos while I've been sitting here reading, so it's never good for the teeth situation. So I finished chapter 14, and we've reached our conflict, and I will just say that it kind of seems like one side was more at fault for the conflict on this one, but we're not here. We're not here to cast blame. We're just here to make sure everyone moves along and gets to where they need to be. So, with that said, I'm going to round out Chapter 15 and the epilogue, and I will visit back with you for the wrap-up of The Sergeant's Matchmaking Dog by Carrie Nichols. All right, I wrapped up Carrie Nichols, The Sergeant's Matchmaking Dog, so this is part of the Small Town Sweethearts series, is what it's called. And the most recent one, and I think there's 5 previous to this, so yet another series that I have a backlist to read for. This ended on such a sweet note. It was such a well-rounded story. Just the drama was great, the sweet parts were great, the steamy parts were great, the funny parts were great, and it was like any direction that you looked at the story from, if you're looking at it from even Radar's perspective, it's awesome. If you're looking at it from Teddy's perspective, it's really cool. It wasn't like there was a point of view shift and you're like, you get that groan of like, oh, not this person. There's no Sansa Stark in this story here. You were just pleased to just keep going with each chapter. And Carrie Nichols is an absolute delight. If you have not checked out episode 37 of Categorically Romance Podcast, please check it out. Carrie Nichols is the guest, and it is an absolute crack up. They had such a good time, and you can just tell that she is just a lovely person. To get back to Loon Lake, I can't wait to get into more special editions and get this kind of feeling back. And I'm excited to move on with my category journey. So next will be book 5. I know this is a new thing and it's constantly changing, but we're going to do another new thing with book 5. I'm totally excited. That's going to be coming up in an announcement. I'll announce that on Twitter, probably on Sunday, the 8th, August 8th. So look out for that. And I hope you stick with me for my category journey. And I just want you to know that it's your journey too, if you're on this with me. So make sure to follow my Twitter to get the latest announcements and the latest tweets on the books as I read through them. If you are a Harlequin category romance author that would like to be featured, I am an easy creature. All you have to do is ask. You can reach me through Twitter, or my email will be listed down in the description below, and I will get to it whenever I can. So thank you again, Harlequin Books, Mills & Boon, Carrie Nichols especially, and all of you who stick along with me through my category journey.